How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Stand Focused for Jesus. Hope each and every one of you are having a blessed day in the Lord Jesus Christ as always. I don't even know what today is, so bear with. I know today is Tuesday. I think it's like March 21st or 22nd, something like that. But I'm headed to the store to get some eggs for the family. Just got done doing a driving job, making some money for the family. Y'all know how it goes. And I passed a homeless guy in a spot where you don't normally see him. And the Holy Spirit was speaking to me about the homeless epidemic, pandemic, problem, crisis, whatever you want to call it, in America, and how it ties in with the mark of the beast. Very, very interesting point, right? The Bible tells us that, well, it's the prophets, the Bible, but the prophet tells us that he has never seen the children of God begging for bread. He has never seen the children of God begging for bread, begging for food, begging for drink. Christ himself even tells us that if God take care of the birds, the bees, and everything else, specifically the birds, the birds are free. They get to go where they want to, they get to fly where they want to. They get to eat worms from all around the world. They get to eat food from all around the world for free because God provides it for them, And we know what the rest of the scripture says, but for those who don't, he pretty much says that if he take care of the birds, if he take care of the bees, if he take care of the grass, if he take care of everything, then how much more is he going to take care of you? So take no thought on what you're going to eat or what you're going to drink, what you're going to wear, because, for tomorrow, because today has enough problems of its own. Which leads us to the homeless. It leads us to the homeless. Most of the homeless are out here begging for what? For money to buy food and everything, even though a lot of them, they have food stamps. They have food stamps and they want that money to do what? To go and buy some cigarettes, some alcohol, or whatever. Let's just be real. Very rarely, they want to get some money so they can do something righteous with it. Let's just be real. That's why I don't halfway give them money, because my spirit is already telling me. Them folks, especially where I stay at, the homeless problem is definitely a problem. It's a problem. It is a big problem, and the city knows it. And they're just going back and forth, trying to come up with a solution, but you know how that goes. You're just spinning in the mud when it comes to politics, those type of politics. These folks be camping on property, it's everywhere, but it's like, it's crazy. They literally have camps, full-blown camps. There was a camp in central Arkansas, in Benton. I think Benton is like 30 minutes away, where because of where they were at, the right-of-way on the highway or something like that, they went in and cleared them out, and they had a big camp. And then people were like, oh, you know what I'm saying, we have to give them notice, what are we going to do, blase. Well, first of all, you ain't supposed to be there in the first place. Like, this is a lifestyle that these people choose. Most of them, and I say all of them, but most of them are bums. Most of them are lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to work, but it's crazy because then people got something to say about our people for the most part. I ain't saying it ain't black people that's homeless, but if you're gonna say something about black people, then you gotta say something about white people too. If you're gonna say something about white homeless people, then you gotta say something about black homeless too. Most homeless people, I ain't saying all, but most homeless people are bums. They're lazy. At least in this city, I see them. They run shifts. It be the same people every day. And you see them swap shift. You be here for 4 or 5 hours, I'm be here the next day. I pass them every single day. Like I said, I'm not saying that is the case for every single body. But we're talking about in the spirit. if you can sit there, and especially in California, you can set up a mini apartment and run a business and stuff like that, then you can do that in society and actually contribute something to society. See, this is stuff that people ain't gonna be talking about. Nobody want to ride by and see that. It shouldn't be like that. But they have found the rules out, and they know what they are and are not allowed to do, and they manipulated the rules, and not in a good way, so they can live for free. Yes, I understand that America is expensive and you got all these different things, but don't reject the backstory of how they got there. Y'all looking at, oh, they homeless, they doing it, they doing that, and a lot of them will tell you that they choose to live that lifestyle. Okay, that's cool. But you can't impede on the rules and the regulations and laws that are in place in America. That goes for myself also. That goes for myself also. So it's a fine line, because you don't know everybody's story. Let's just be honest. We don't know everybody's story. That's what I'm saying. Most of them. I ain't saying all. I said most of them, because I know somebody's going to take this video. Oh, he's saying this, he's saying that. I used to be homeless. He don't know my story. Okay, let's hear your story. Let's hear the whole truth. Let's hear how you got there because you lack wisdom and you made bad decisions and you don't want to own up to that. That's how you ended up homeless. That's how you ended up homeless. Most homelessness is the result of a lack of faith. Most homelessness is the result of the lack of faith. I talk to the homeless. Just because I don't give them money don't mean I don't talk to them. There's still homeless people that I'm cool with. Their mail still comes to my house because they don't have an address, or they don't have an address here in the city. They may be somewhere else because I ain't seen them in a while. So, you know, I got to make sure I say that, because somebody's like, oh, you don't know the whole. Just because I tell one thing don't mean that I don't do nothing for them. Just because I'm speaking against most, not all, homeless people don't mean that I'm speaking against all homeless people. Because like I said, there are homeless people that have their mail still being sent to my house, and they showed up to get it. Here you go, Brad. This your mail. Or how you been doing, Brad? You need anything, Brad? And this is a white homeless guy. A white homeless guy that, he grew on me. He grew on me. Cool people. Heard the story and stuff like that and everything. And that's just how he chooses to live. And he still makes bad decisions and stuff. And he'll say that, like, yeah, I'm trying to get myself together and blase, blase. But it's almost like a addiction. It's almost like an addiction, because you get used to, living an easy life. You don't have to deal with the hardships of America. And I ain't gonna lie, it's hard in America. Trust me, I know. I'm a black man in America. I'm a black man in America. I know what hard is. I know what hard is. Rather it's me personally or it's my people collectively. I know what hard is. We have it the hardest. A black man that is a working black man has it harder than a homeless white person. But we don't want to talk about that, though. If you don't believe me, go ask any black man, and he'll tell you. Put them together and let them sit down and talk at a round table, and you'll see. If you can't see that anyway without having to do that, then something's wrong with you. But people will have more respect, more dignity, more be wanting to help the homeless more than they wanted to help the black man. I'm talking the righteous black man, the one that, is striving in the Lord, getting up, working, taking care of his family and stuff like that. More people want to help the other than the other. But that's the world we live in, right? They don't want to see us successful because we represent God. Here we are standing in Christ, taking care of our family, contrary to what the world teaches and preaches. The world teaches and preaches go fornicate. The world promotes the destruction of the black family. That's facts, nothing I'm making up. You can go look it up. Eugenics, all this other stuff. I mean, it is what it is. We're going to deal with it, right? Those of us who really are who we say we are. But most homeless people, they're lazy. They don't want to work. It's not that there aren't jobs out here. It's not that you don't have an address. You can go to the UPS store, one of these places, and you can get a PO box. You can get a PO box from the post office. It's not too much. A lot of them, they get checks every month. They get food stamps every month. I'm talking about some nice food stamps. I know for a fact they do because they be trying to sell them. Hey, I sell you $200 in food stamps or $300. Or how much you got? And you see it. Oh, there's a receipt right here. Cause my dad's not my dad. My wife's dad. My wife's dad. He's dead now. He used to buy food stamps from the homeless, and he stayed loaded with food stamps. And he would sometimes send my wife to the store to get some things for him. I let it go on for a little while, and I said, no, stop doing that. Stop doing that. So he understood the game. You would see the receipt, $400, $500. Some of them be $800 in food stamps. Homeless. And that was a hustle for them where they would get these food stamps. And then, they would sell a portion of them when they needed money, and then they would, keep it for themselves. The rest of it, when they needed food or whatever. They moved into a place, they found somewhere to crash at, like Brad did. Brad was staying with my wife's dad at the time, and then he would help him out and stuff like that. It was a business agreement. So Brad had some wisdom, but at the same time, when it all fell apart, then he had to go. But I like Brad. I like Brad. Brad was cool people, and we would talk and everything, and stuff like that. So I said most. And most of them are in that situation because of lack of wisdom. I'm not saying that I couldn't be in that situation, but if I'm in that situation, not gonna be from a lack of wisdom. It's gonna be stuff out of my control. Stuff out of my control. Unless I just made a very, very bad decision. If I make a very, very bad decision that causes my family and myself to be homeless, I'm not just gonna give up. I guess we'll just be homeless, y'all. No, I'm gonna figure something out. I'm gonna find somewhere for them to go stay until I get myself together and get back on my feet again. Okay, go stay with my mama. Go, you got family you can stay with. Go stay with your uncle. I pay whoever, just so you're not out on the streets. I don't care even if I didn't have my daughter who's newborn. If I had my two boys, and let's say they were 10 and 12, old enough to really understand. Y'all go stay with your family. Find some family. We're gonna find some family for you to stay with, either on my side or your side, and then we're gonna work it out. Go stay with my daddy in Atlanta. People are more willing to take in women, which is understandable, than men, because men, that can that can you can bump heads on that a lot of times. So let's bring it all together with this mark of the beast. How in the world does a homeless problem tie in with the mark of the beast? That seems to make absolutely no sense. Most of the homeless people on the corner, what are they asking for? They're asking for money. Most people don't carry money on them anymore, do they? What do they carry? Debit, credit cards, stuff like that. Digital currency. Most people carry, digital currency. You see where I'm going? Homelessness. Most homelessness is a lack of faith. Is a result of the lack of faith. That's why they're in that situation. That's why they're begging for this and begging for that. I never begged in my life, as far as I know. If I did, once or twice or maybe a handful of times, but definitely ain't finna beg now. Definitely not finna beg. So we are leading up to a situation very, very rapidly where all currency is going to be digital. And we know that we're going to get to the point where nobody will be able to buy or sell. And this time period will be in the time period of Jacob's trouble, Daniel's 70th week, what we also call Nasara, Gesara, the Great Reset, the New World Order. The mark of the beast is more so going to be made mandatory when that halfway point happens in a 3.5 year time period. I broke this down in the sermon, but let me break it down for you real fast. The reason it's made mandatory is because when Christ comes and he wages that war, more so when that sixth seal is broken, society collapses. And because everything is digital, there's no way to buy or sell anything because there's no access to the money. That's the result of God. Christ himself is going to do that. This revelation was just given to me not too long ago. You go remember, or not you go remember, but yeah, go remember. But if you remember, I spoke about that in the sermon. It's a few sermons ago, but you can go back and listen to it or watch it, whatnot. Where Christ comes, first you have this perfect, perfect society, right? And you have the digital currency. We see it's coming in. There's no more what we call dollars, pesos, all this other stuff, euros, francs, all this other stuff, right? When Christ comes, the judgment and the mayhem that he brings, it causes the financial system to collapse. It causes the financial system to collapse. And therefore, there is no more access to the money because the system is disconnected. It's like you have your house, but if the power company, they go down, you can flip that light switch all you want to. You can flip the light switch all you want to, but ain't no power because it's disconnected from the source. So Christ is gonna disconnect the houses in the context I'm speaking about, the people from the source, which is this digital currency, which is gonna cause the whole system to collapse. And then they're gonna be, blaming, the Jews of that time period. It's y'all fault, and they're gonna end up turning against them. And that's when the Antichrist is gonna come in and be like, I'm gonna fix it all. I'm gonna fix, because it's gonna be worldwide chaos. We can't do this. We can't do that. Okay, I'm gonna put this system in. And we gotta find out who is really on our side. And you gotta get this mark so you're able to buy or sell. You gotta get this mark in your hand or in your forehead so you'll be able to buy or sell, and we will know who is who. We need to know whose allegiance you rock with, whose allegiance you side with, because these people that came in and they done destroyed our way of life. They done destroyed our perfect society. So now you got to get this mark so we know for a fact that we know that you're with us. And of course, most of the people, they're going to take it. That's when it becomes mandatory for you to be able to, buy food, buy, sell, and do e-commerce, commerce, and stuff like that. Again, we know that the world is going the way of the digital world, and the digital world is the spiritual world. I told you that sermons ago, before this stuff really started popping out the way it is now. That the digital is the spiritual. I broke it down to you. We broke down digits and everything, and we laid it out plain. Going back to the homeless. How are the homeless going to be able to get their benefits? How are the homeless going to be able to get their money? How are the homeless going to be able to receive money from people when everything's going to be digital? So they're going to have a cell phone. You have a cell phone and say, hey, let me scan and give you some money. Okay, that may very well be the case. But what happens when it's made mandatory? Like I said, most homelessness is a result of a lack of faith. And because they lack faith and they enjoy the lifestyle that they live in that sense, a lifestyle that's a lack of faith, rather, it doesn't matter if a person has money or doesn't have money, but we're focused on the homeless. If a person lacks faith, they lack faith. But in the context, we're speaking about the homeless. Because they lack faith, what are they going to end up doing? They're going to end up taking the mark of the beast so they can continue to get their benefits. And it could very well be where it comes in where, they're homeless now. And then when this new system comes in, hey, come on into this new world order system. We're going to make sure that we take care of you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is the motives and the motives, the intentions, and the end game of the reason why they're going to be, wanting to help the homeless. Has nothing to do with really wanting to help them. Has everything to do with snatching their souls of their bodies. Give me your soul, give me your spirit, the power of your spirit to do evil and wickedness in exchange for these trinkets. And that's what's going to end up happening to a lot of homeless people. I believe that I know for a fact that this homeless problem, however you want to put it, is being engineered. But now I'm believing and I'm seeing that it's really, really, really being engineered because it's going to play a major part in Bible prophecy. California is, off the chain. We know how bad California is, and it's only getting worse. And it's contributing to the collapse of the American society. The system that's supposed to be in place to help people is being overwhelmed. It's already overwhelmed. It continues to be overwhelmed by this influx of, applications of people needing assistance from not only the homeless, but the average everyday working American. And that collectively is contributing to the rapid descension of American society, the collapse of it. And this is exactly what we're seeing. So what they're doing is they're getting both sides. They're getting the working people and they're getting the homeless. And then, we need help, we need relief and everything until they eventually completely break them to ultimately receiving the mark of the beast, receiving the Antichrist. We know there's going to be war, rather it's this war that's going on now or something after the fact. But I truly believe there's going to be a war that's going to be one of the worst wars, a war that's seen, which is going to be the need for really bringing in a new world order. When you look at Nasara, when you look it up, and even when you look at the Bible, under Nasara, it says it brings in worldwide peace. There's a need for worldwide peace because there's war going on, right? In the Bible, what does it tell us? It tells us when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. So therefore, there's going to be wars and rumors of wars and all these different things going on. And I truly believe the more I study it, the more the Lord gives me pieces, that it's going to be a war this world is not ready for. That's going to be really the catalyst, or one of the catalysts, to ultimately bring in the New World Order. And we know the Bible also tells us that the Antichrist, he comes in peacefully, but he's coming in what? To conquer. He's coming in like he's the Christ. He's coming in, I'm the Messiah. I'm here to save the world. And the homeless play a major part in that because they're going to get them, they're going to get the working people, they're going to get everybody, they're going to get the rich, everybody. Boom, because it's going to affect everybody. Yeah, the rich are getting richer, but if the poor and the middle class ain't got no jobs, or they got no incentives to work, then the rich can't get richer off the poor. That's just the cycle that we live in. Y'all know how it works. And when that system is made mandatory, where you got to get that mark, or they're bringing forth all these benefits, we're gonna give you a house, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. The homeless they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it, not because they're homeless, but because they lack faith. And let's look at that in comparison to the scriptures. Christ preached to the homeless. Christ preached to the needy. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't help the needy and the poor and everything. The Bible tells us to do that. But it's supposed to be in righteousness. He helped them, but he healed them spiritually. He didn't have no gold and silver to give them. Even the prophet said, silver and gold I have not, but I have something greater. I have the gospel. He told them, rise up, get up. The problem today is A lot of the homeless are so full of pride. They don't want to hear about God. They don't want to hear about the gospel. Just give me the money, give me the food, or whatever. I've seen it. Some of you have seen it. Some of you have witnessed. Some of you have went and spoke to people, and they don't want to hear the gospel. They don't want to be made whole. They don't want the great physician who is the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the true physician. And what did Christ say? Those that be sick, they need the physician. They need the doctor. But those that don't see they're sick, those that don't think they're sick, they don't see they need to see the doctor. They don't see that they need to see the physician, Christ. And so when Christ comes to them, or when Christ sends his people to preach to them, to minister to them, so they can truly be whole. Nah, I'm straight. You got any money though? You got any cigarettes? Nah, I ain't got no cigarettes. Well, I don't hear what you got to say. You shouldn't be smoking, man. Blah, whatever. And some of them, they have a conversation with you or whatever. But then what do they say? Yeah, I know God. I know Jesus. But do they really know him? Many shall say in that day, Lord, Lord. So, homelessness and the mark of the beast. Very, very interesting, huh? But what are they going to do when their money is cut off because everything is digital, which everything is mostly digital now, but not everything. But most everything is mostly digital. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to be faithful now? Oh, I can't get my money, can't get my benefits unless I get this mark. Or I go with this beast system, so, hey, I'm going with it. They giving in now. They giving in now. So they definitely going to give in then. I mean, sad. Sad. And it's even sadder. It's more frustrating because if I had the money, I would definitely make a change. If I had the money, this world would not be the world it is today. At least with what I can control. And I have many brothers and sisters where we talk about stuff like this. We talk about stuff like this. Like if we had the money, the stuff that we would do to truly help people, and what they do with it is what they do with it, because we would be the ones running it. A lot of this stuff would not be going on. But this is what happens when you have the wicked in power. The wicked, of course, don't want the righteous to be in power, because us being in power, they got to go. They can't do what they do because we gonna kick them out. We're going to handle business, to say it politely. We are going to handle business. We're not going to go for that. There will be charges for you doing the stuff that people do today. The stuff that people are doing today, what the wicked are doing, that it's war crimes. They are literally war crimes, but they can get away with it because, Satan is the God of the world right now. And God is allowing Satan to do what he do for his will to be fulfilled. And to make it simple, and I'm going to close it out with this. Some people may ask, well, why is God allowing all this stuff? Because it's a test. It's a test to see who really is going to serve the Lord. If you can't be obedient in the most wicked time, before the most wicked time ever, then why would God bless you with all the other stuff that's to come that is coming? Why would he truly bless you with that when you can't even make it through what's going on right now? If your children can't even clean their room, if they can't even be obedient to something that you're saying, then why in the world would you take them to wherever you're going to take them, or bless them with whatever you say you're going to bless them with, if they're being disobedient? It's pretty simple, but y'all make it complicated. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why do y'all make things so complicated? Because in the complication of things, where you purposely keep things complicated, you confuse yourself. That's where your power is. Your power is in the chaos, not in the clarity. So with that being said, God bless each and every one of you in Jesus Christ's name. As always, stay focused for Jesus. And as you know, the truth is not debated, it is declared.